Most retreat hosts build their events like this: theme first, content second, maybe team, and tech somewhere at the end. And that right there is exactly why the backend always feels shaky. In this video, I'm going to show you the order that actually works, starting with your event tech infrastructure, your systems, your automations, your coordination hub, and so on, so that everything else that you build has a solid foundation to stand on. By the end, you're going to have the sequence for building a retreat backend that holds from the very beginning. Let me walk you through how most retreat hosts build their event backend, because I think you might recognize yourself in there. The theme comes first, then the content, then the venue, because those all have deadlines. Then guest registration goes up because people need time to be able to sign up. Then confirmations get set up because when people register and they're enrolling, they need to get confirmation or receive something back. Logistics documents start to get created as decisions are being made. And maybe a shared folder gets built, and maybe a project management board gets started. And that coordination hub, that thing that would actually give your team the ability to work independently on event day, that gets cobbled together about a week in advance when everything is already in motion. By the time you get around to actually building that infrastructure that will actually make your team operate independently, you're building it under pressure. You're building it under pressure and a complete rush. It's being populated incompletely and then being shared with team members who don't have time to learn the system so that they can actually operate it on event day. The tech that should have been completed at the very beginning has now found its way being built at the end when things are already underway. And I know the logic behind the sequence. It feels practical. You think, I need to know what I'm building before I build it first. I need the decisions made before I can document them. I need the details finalized before I can actually put them in a system. But that logic is backwards, and it's the reason that your backend never feels solid. And here's why. Building the hub first does not require you to have all the details nailed down. It simply requires the architecture to be decided. The folder structure, the domains, the templates, the place where each piece of information will live. When you build the architecture first, it's like building a house. You're not building a house when people are already living in it. You're pouring the foundation while the ground is still clear. And every decision you make after that, and every vendor you confirm, every guest that registers, every timeline that gets updated, it goes directly into the structure that has already been prepared to hold it. Let me show you what this looks like practically. Months out from the start of your retreat, instead of starting with content creation and logistics call, you open up your coordination hub. You then create the folder structure by domain: logistics, guest experience, tech. You then build your run of show template before you fill it in. You then create the brief templates for each role before you assign people. You then configure the registration and automation before the event is even announced publicly. By the time you start filling this out with actual information, the foundation is already there. You are populating a structure rather than building it as everything else is happening. That is a fundamentally different experience of event planning, and it starts with tech first. I want to show you what your team looks like when the tech is built correctly before they're briefed. Because the same team will perform very differently when the tech has been set up with them in mind, instead of being set up just for you and your workflow. Okay, so your logistic lead, she opens up the folder for the logistics before the briefing call. She finds the vendor contact list, current, and organized by vendor type. She finds the run of show with real times, transitions, and hotel ownership. She finds her brief that shows her what her responsibilities are, what decisions she's allowed to make, and who she needs to contact for what. And she hasn't asked you a single question yet because she looked at the hub first. Your guest experience lead, on the other hand, opens the guest folder. She finds the most current list of guests with the dietary needs and room assignments confirmed. She finds the arrival process document. She finds her brief with her decision authority clearly defined. She knows what she can handle independently and what she needs to escalate to you. And she walks into the event day with the same confidence you would have because she knows exactly what she needs to do. And she knows exactly where everything she needs is located. Your tech lead opens up the setup document, equipment list, platform login, troubleshooting guide, AV contact information. She runs the presentation setup 20 minutes before the ongoing session so that she can make sure that everything is settled before the session begins. And you are standing at the door welcoming your guests. You are holding nothing operational in your head. You're not tracking any of the logistics on who is doing what. You're not worrying if the run of show is the current one. You're not looking at your phone handling logistics. You are present. And that's not a different team. It's the same team, just with a different foundation underneath them. And that's what I want you to understand about the relationship between tech and team performance. Your team's ability to operate independently is not primarily a function of their capability or their experience. It's more of a function of what they actually have access to. Give that same person a task list and a verbal briefing, and they're going to be asking you questions all day. But give that same person a brief that tells them exactly what their responsibilities are and that references the information in your hub that is current, accurate, and accessible. That person's going to operate on a completely different level. One with independence that looks like a completely different hire. The tech is not a bonus that you add on while everything else is being figured out. It's a precondition for everything else to work. Before we get into the full build sequence, I want to share a free resource that pairs well with what we're talking about. It's called the Event Systems ROI Audit, and it walks you through the 5 backend areas of your event, including your tech, your systems flow, and your team coordination. And it shows you what areas are in your business are supporting you and what areas could probably use a little more work. If that's something that you're interested in grabbing, you can grab it down in the description below. Okay, so let's get into the 4 sequence. Step 1 is, of course, build the coordination hub. This is the foundation. Before you create your brief, before you assign that role, before you hold your team briefing call, you build a place where all that information lives. Create the folder structure by domains, and then create empty templates for your run of show, the vendor contact list, the guest list, and the brief for each role, and any other templates you think you may need. You're not filling any of these templates in yet. You're simply building the structure so that once you have the information, you have a place to input it. This step takes one focused session, and once you have it, you are ready to input it with all the information you have or you make once you start making those decisions. And the great thing is once you have it, you can copy it for your next event. Step 2 is then configuring your registration system and your automations. This is a layer that handles guest communication and data collection. Your registration form, your confirmation emails, your reminder sequences, and your pre-arrival instructions. You built this second because your registration system determines what guest data flows into the hub and how. Once it's configured, guests who register are automatically confirmed, automatically reminded, and automatically sent any information that they need before the event. The entire communication system runs without you or your team members needing to lift a hand. And the guest data that you collect then is fed into your coordination hub. And this way, your guest experience lead now has current and accurate information and data about your guest. Step 3 is then to write your briefs. You write your briefs third and not first because now you have a location to point your team to, but also you know exactly what it is that you need that team member to take care of. Your logistics lead's brief does not say open the run of show. Your logistics lead's brief does not say reference the run of show. What it does say is open the logistics folder in the hub. The run of show will be the first document you see. Your guest experience leads brief does not say check the guest list. What it does say is that the guest list is located in the guest experience folder, updated daily. When the brief points to something that already exists, it is immediately functional. When the brief describes something that hasn't been built yet, it is just merely a description, and descriptions don't coordinate teams. Step 4 is to assign the team and hold the briefing call. This comes last, not because the team is an afterthought, but because now the team has a place and a system that is fully ready and prepared for them. On the briefing call, you're not explaining what you're planning to build for them to work from. You're showing them what already exists. You're walking them through each of the folders, their briefs, their decisions, their contact. They leave that call knowing exactly what they need to do and exactly where to find the information that they need on the event day. That is a completely different briefing call than one where you're just reviewing a task list and hoping that they remember everything on the day. This one gives them a system that they can reference every time. And that system is current, organized, and built exactly for them. That is the sequence. Hub first, registration and automation, brief, then team meeting. When you build in this order, every layer is supported by the item that is underneath it. And when event day arrives, the infrastructure isn't something that you're still building. It's something that they've worked from and have gotten experience with. You now have everything you need to build this yourself. The sequence is clear. You have the order of operations to putting this all together. Everything I've taught you in this video has been designed to be applied by you on your own before your next event. And for some hosts, that is the right path. If you enjoy the building process, if you have the experience inside the platforms and you have the time to be able to put this all together, then you can absolutely build this yourself and it will work perfectly. But I want to be honest about what the building process looks like because honesty matters. Building a full tech backend, the registration systems, the automation, the CRM connections, the coordination hub, all connected and configured to work correctly, it is not a 2-hour project. This is a project that is going to take time and energy that is focused. If you have ever found yourself on a Saturday trying to connect something and then 3 hours later you are still trying to figure it out, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And the building isn't necessarily the hard part, it's the testing, the connecting, the making sure that the right automations fire at the right time, and making sure that they're going to the right person. That is the bit that actually takes up a lot of time. And there's a cost to building it during event prep, where your brain is split between content development, guest communications, logistics planning. Tech setup requires a lot of focus, which can be difficult when you have everything else coming at you. So here's the honest truth. You have 2 paths forward, and both of them work. Path 1 is you build it yourself. You set aside 2 to 3 focus days over the next week, and you follow the sequence. Hub first, registration and automation second, briefs third, and your team meeting last. You test everything, you document it, and then you run it through with your team. You will have a fully built backend within the knowledge that it comes with building it yourself. Path 2 is that you have it built for you. And that is what the Event Tech VIP Day is designed for. In one focused day, I build your backend system for you. The registration system, the email automations, your workflows, your coordination hub, all of it configured, connected, and before the build day, we have a scoping call where I learn more about your event, your team structure, your guest flow, and your specific needs. Then on the VIP day itself, I build the entire infrastructure for you so that by the end of the day, you have a backend system ready and live to work. After the video, you'll get a walkthrough of exactly what was built and how it works. This way, you understand the system and will be able to maintain it yourself. And you'll get 30 days of post-build support in case you need any tweaks or adjustments to the system. You're not buying knowledge. You already have that. You are buying a built system. The brief functions better when it has something to point to. The roles fill in more quickly when there's already a hub there waiting for them. And the team performs better when the infrastructure has already been prepared before they arrive. If this is the right fit for you, the link is down below in the description. You can learn more and book when you're ready. And if building it yourself is the right step for you right now, then you already have the information you need to do so. The framework is yours, the sequence is yours, and you can start today. Here's what I want you to take away from everything that we've covered. Your retreats are not heavy because you're doing too much. They feel heavy because the structure underneath them wasn't built to carry the weight. And that is fixable, not by working harder and not by finding new people, but by building the structure that allows your team to be able to work without you. Roles with real ownership, briefs with real decision authority, a coordination hub that holds all the central information in one place, and a tech foundation that makes it all functional. That is the backend your retreat deserves, and it's the backend that your guests will feel even though they'll never see it. And if you found this video valuable, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future content.